Hey everybody, it's Gus with Egypt Adventures Travel. I am here with an important announcement about Egypt's Grand Egyptian Museum. Today I'm going to tell you when the Grand Egyptian Museum will finally open, what you can expect to see at the Grand Egyptian Museum when you go, and when you should think about planning your trip in order to see the gem. Let's get started. So for those of you who don't know, Egypt's Grand Egyptian Museum has been under construction for a long time. And we've also been waiting for a long time for it to finally open. There have been a lot of false starts and predictions that didn't come true for the gem's opening. So now that Egypt has finally announced we can expect it to open in November of 2022, everyone is really excited. Egypt announced this with Dr. Zahi Hawass, who is one of the premier Egyptian Egyptologists. And they also announced it on Egypt Independent, which is a reputable news source based in Cairo. The gem is supposed to open on November 4th, 2022, which is going to mark the 100th year of the discovery of King Tut's tomb, and also the 200th year since they solved the mystery of hieroglyphs using the Rosetta Stone. This event is probably going to be an international spectacle with celebrities, with diplomats, and with people from all over the world in attendance. So you can look to Egypt this upcoming November to see a really amazing event, probably on parallel with the Royal Mummy Parade that happened this last spring, 2021. So that's when the gem is supposed to open. So now let's talk about what you can see when you go to the gem. Egypt's new Grand Egyptian Museum will be situated next to the Giza Plateau, and it's going to be the largest archaeological museum in the world when it opens. They've already moved over quite a few objects to the Grand Egyptian Museum, including Khufu's solar boat, which is a boat that's over 4,000 years old that was discovered at the site of the Giza pyramids. They also have a colossal statue of Ramses the Great that has never been before displayed in public. This is one of the largest statues of an Egyptian pharaoh that has been found yet. And soon to move to the gem will be the entire Tutankhamun collection of artifacts, including Tutankhamun's gold funerary mask, the most famous artifact from ancient Egypt. There's also going to be thousands of other objects at the gem. It's just going to be such a massive museum filled with treasures from Egypt's pharaonic history. Now, the gem should not be confused with the Egyptian Museum in Tahrir Square, which will continue to stay open. And it also should not be confused with the National Museum of Egyptian Civilization, which just opened up its Royal Mummy exhibit in April of 2021. These two museums are open to the public right now, and they're going to house different objects than will be at the Grand Egyptian Museum. So all three museums will definitely be worth a visit, with the gem being the top museum of them all in Egypt. So we went over when the gem's going to open. We went over what you can see when you go there. Now, when should you plan your trip? So the gem is supposed to open November 4th, 2022, but as we know, Egypt is notorious for things being delayed or postponed. I'm recommending that travelers who are interested in seeing the Grand Egyptian Museum wait a few more months before booking those flights, to see if we can have an official announcement from Egypt regarding the event that is going to surround the opening of the Grand Egyptian Museum. I'm guessing that Egypt will probably start announcing things in early 2022. So I would suggest holding off until maybe January or February 2022 before booking flights to see if any updated news comes out about the gem's opening. I will probably be booking a trip for December of 2022, because I think that giving Egypt about a month to figure out all of the kinks and to solve any issues with the opening of the gem should mean that everything will be ready to go by the time I go there December of 2022. What I always tell people, and what I've been telling everyone even before we knew when the opening of the gem would be, is that you don't need to worry about planning a trip to Egypt around the Grand Egyptian Museum, because even if it ends up not being open, or if there's some catastrophic problem and you're going to Egypt and the gem's not going to be ready yet for you to see. Egypt has hundreds of other museums, archaeological sites, mosques, churches, tombs, pyramids, temples that you will be awed and amazed by. So don't worry about one museum making or breaking your trip. Even if you decide to go to Egypt and the gem ends up not being open yet, you will still love Egypt and you'll have a great time, and you'll have an excuse to go back to see the gem when it officially opens. So that's it for today's video. The gem's gonna open November of 2022. There's going to be so many things to see there, and I would recommend waiting a little bit longer before booking those tickets. Are you interested in going to see the gem? Let me know in the comments below. Also, remember that you can always send me an email, you can DM me on Instagram, or you can find me at my website. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Gus with Egypt Adventures Travel. Talk to you later.
Check us out on Instagram or Facebook at Egypt Adventures Travel, or go to www.egyptadventurestravel.com.